Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about Sunshine Stewart. She is a missing paddleboarder. She went missing in Maine on July 2nd. She went paddleboarding at 6 p.m. and then she didn't return, so the police were contacted. They found her body at 1 a.m. the next day, and they said that it's a homicide. So basically, she is a 48-year-old woman who lives in Maine, and I read that she was living at a campground just a few days before she went paddleboarding. She was with friends having a great time, and she liked that they were all together. And so she went paddleboarding, and thankfully she did tell someone where she was going, because that person contacted the police when she didn't return. And they did an autopsy and said it was homicide. They are not releasing the cause of death or circumstances, but they said her body was found under unusual circumstances. The condition of the body when it was found, it didn't indicate that the death was suicide or accidental drowning. So right now they're canvassing the neighborhoods for surveillance and security camera footage that might help. And they want anybody who's seen her to contact the police. So this happened in Union, Maine, and it's near the Atlantic coast. So members of the public are encouraged to remain aware of their surroundings and report any suspicious behavior. Sunshine's sister described her as the strongest person I know. She would give you the shirt off her back. She said she was a marine biologist, the world's best bartender, lobsterman, and boat captain. And she was currently working as a contractor. So she definitely sounds like a tough cookie. Like if you're doing all those jobs and you're a woman, then you are a tough woman, that's for sure. And it seems like she enjoyed being in the water. Sounds like she was just like living a carefree life, doing things that she was happy to be doing. So my take on this, since we don't have many details, there's two things I'm thinking. The first one is that she lived with a boyfriend or a significant other at this campground, and that's actually the person that reported her missing, and that's the person that murdered her. So it could be we just are not hearing that she had a boyfriend. We're not hearing that she had a girlfriend. And maybe even her friends are like, oh, her husband did it, or her boyfriend did it, or who she was living with at the campground did it. Like they might already know who did it. And it's one of those cases where they don't tell the public everything. So we're actually looking for some like murderer who doesn't know her, and it's like random, when in reality it's someone close to her, because they do that a lot. And people will actively search for somebody who did this when all along the cops know it's like her boyfriend, it's her roommate. So that's the first scenario. I'd like to know who called the police, because it could just be somebody that lived with her and who murdered her. The second scenario is it could actually be a random act of violence. You're on this pond and you are by yourself, and maybe some other guy is there, and they just decide to do a crime of convenience, like, not convenience, a crime of opportunity. So they realize they're alone with her. They know nobody else is around, and they feel like they could just get away with murder and whatever else they did to her. So it could be a crime of opportunity, or it's somebody she's close to that she had problems with. I thought some interesting things her sister said was that she's had a rough life, and that despite of having a hard life, she chose to be, like, keep on the sunny side of the street, and her name is Sunshine. So it could be maybe she was homeless living at the campground. Maybe this campground is not your typical campground. Maybe it's full of people who are like homeless, down on their luck, drug users. Like, it sounds like a nice place when you just think, oh, campground. But I've known like homeless people that live down by the river, at the river camps and stuff. So it's like sometimes not what you think. So it could be somebody in her area that lives near her. It could be a boyfriend or a significant other, and it could be a random act of violence. Now, the police are saying, for the public to be aware. So that makes me think it is kind of random, because otherwise I think they would say there's no threat to the public. So I'll keep you updated, and I'll see you in the next one.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile